Manchester City to Nottingham Forest 0. Pep Guardiola's men go up second. They do concede chances. They do get rattled in moments in this game, but they are champions of England for a reason. They're the best team in the world for a reason. They're one of the most consistent, devastating teams in Premier League history for a reason, and they get the job done today. Now, that doesn't mean this game goes without controversy. There was a moment we want to get your opinions on. Edison comes out, very Onana-esque. He doesn't get to the ball, fists out, absolutely smashes into the Nottingham Forest player, and no foul or VAR check is given. United conceded a rightful penalty for this yesterday. So lots of rivals want to talk about that on the show today. But I want to start off by focusing on Manchester City. They weren't at their best again today. By a long way, not at their best. They conceded 15 shots to their 10, as an example. And it was really poor finishing from the likes of Wood and co for Forest, really and truly, that kept them in the game. In fact, in the opening few seconds of the game, they should have gone 1-0 up. Forest. There was a back heel from a few yards out that went over the bar. Woods, for me, missed two absolute sitters in this game. And it should have been different. If Forest were more clinical, this could have had a very different outcome, a very different ramification for the league title race. However, when you've got a player that can pass, move the ball as brilliantly, as accurately, as consistently as KDB, picking up 2 more assists in the Premier League, again, in a title race, it's why he's one of the greatest midfield players to ever grace this league. Guardiola stepping up and getting another goal, a very, very important goal for him. And then on top of that, you have Haaland, who is, well, I've said for weeks now, has been disrespectfully written off, disrespectfully criticized. The nonsense about him being a League Two football player, he put that all aside. He comes on and scores a very good goal. He had to use, it wasn't just a tap in, there was a bit of skill involved. Buries it, still the top goal scorer in the Premier League, secures the 3 points for Manchester City. And that is why they are great. And what's really interesting here is that when I mentioned a minute ago that City weren't that good and it could have been different, people are taking this as a pop shot to say, Terry, keep crying. Keep crying. What does this comment here say? Terry, keep crying. This is my favorite one that said ifs and buts. Yes, absolutely. Ifs and buts are an important part of football. Okay. Even though City were under pressure, they were able to come out on top. And this is one of the reasons why I look at them as the best team in the world. They don't need to be at their best to win. And they've done that in recent weeks and they've done it phenomenally well. And they deserve to be. And I will certainly be praising them for that 110%. Absolutely. And of course, if buts and maybes are an important part, this game could have gone very differently if Nottingham Forest had their shooting boots on. But City didn't allow Forest domination in the attack, because they did dominate them in the attack. They had more chances. They actually had more clear-cut chances. They didn't allow that to affect them. They knew, okay, stick to what we know, stick to playing our game, and we will get the chances to win. And they took it. And for me, that has to be congratulated. It absolutely does. Laughing my ass off, Terry. City are so much better when compared to Arsenal. Oh, listen, of course, City are the best team in the world. They are a better team than Arsenal. That's why they were favourites with most people to win, including myself, to win the Premier League at the start of the season. That's why most people have them as their favourites now. City are a better team than Arsenal. I haven't mentioned Arsenal on this show, as in I've not spoke about them. You brought them up. There's zero need. I do not say Arsenal are the best team in the world. I say City are the best team in the world, with the best manager in the world, with the best squad in the world. So yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Terry, you said Arsenal were good when they were dominated. Arsenal robbed Spurs. No, I've said this on many shows for many years. Having possession doesn't mean you dominated a game. It really doesn't. I've been saying that since making content about LVG as the Man United manager. We had fans outside the stadium, so I used to do fan cams for full-time Devils back then. Oh, we dominated, but we just couldn't win. I'm like, yeah, we had 65, 70% of the ball, but we didn't do anything with it. They were the ones that were countering and being really dangerous. That, for me, is dominating because it's a tactic. Today, City had most of the ball, but the most potent team was Nottingham Forest. But what got City through is their overarching quality, the defenders putting in those blocks, the goalie making the saves. And then when they had chances, you take it and you praise a team for that. The best teams ever win over a 10-year period. Maybe that's a bit too long. A 5-year period will win dozens and dozens of games like today, and I'll always praise them. Again, there's absolutely zero reason for you to be bringing Arsenal up in this. I haven't personally done that. Terry in the mud? No, I predicted City to win the league, so I'm not in the mud. Ivan here, another City fan, says, Terry, are you supporting Man United or are you an Arsenal fan now? I'm confused. Yeah, I praised Arsenal for being good, but why are you not asking if I'm a Man United or a Man City fan when I'm saying Man City are the best team in the world? That's the greatest love you could show any club. I'm saying they're the best team in the world. Does that now mean I'm not a Man United fan? Answer me that question, my friend, but I bet you don't. Super chat here says, we were not at our best today. Experience and player quality got the job done. That's from Goal with the Flow. I like that name. It's a really good name. You're absolutely spot on. And I'll always praise a team for that. Always have, always will. It is what champions do. City go into their last 4 games versus Arsenal's last 3 games. This is an amazing title race. It's every bit as enthralling, appealing, exciting as the Liverpool versus City races that we saw. Will, though, history repeat itself and City come out on top? Is there a slip-up still in them? Many people think no. A lot of people put stock into today. I didn't see this as being the game. Forest were better today than I thought they would be, but I didn't think this would be the match where City dropped points. I'm still looking ahead at the 2 away games against Fulham and Spurs where it could potentially happen, but City are the favourites from this point. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Jonathan here says, now looking at the remaining fixtures, is it fair to say City have a tougher go with Arsenal done with Chelsea and Tottenham? Potentially you could look at it now and say that the Arsenal have got through the Wolves away, Chelsea, and then the Spurs away game. You could probably argue it from that point. Fulham away is not an easy football match. Tottenham away has been a horrible place for City to go to. The one issue with the Tottenham match is I will say this is not a dig at anybody. If you take it as a dig, I genuinely mean this without saying horrible. I think you need to see a doctor. I mean it. You need therapy. I think Spurs will roll over in that game. I think Spurs will lose. I think they'll be out of the top 4 race by then because Villa are too good. So they will just, what's the point of winning? It's going to do nothing for their season and it might help Arsenal. So that's, and I get it. If Spurs have to win, if they can make Champions League, it'd be different. If they're out of the Champions League race by that game, done. Terry, make sure to stop Arsenal when they visit Old Trafford. You stop Liverpool and you can do it again. Yeah, I kind of do, and I don't want that. Terry's hypocrisy exposed and in the mud. Again, if you can show me where I'm a hypocrite, I will pay your mortgage for a year. Show me where I'm being a hypocrite and I'll pay your mortgage or your rent for an entire year. I've said it now in front of nearly 2,000 people. Show me where that is, my friend. Show me where that is. Terry, you said Liverpool were going to win. Listen to what it is that I said. I said at the start of the season, everybody, including myself, predicted City to win. When I thought Liverpool were going to go on to do it is when they had a 5-point lead, when they were winning games that they probably had no right to win because their squad had injuries, and I thought they would stay the course. So that is like what we all talk about within a season. Expectations change. They had a 5-point gap. World-class manager, excellent squad. My pick at the beginning of the season, as I stated, was City. As soon as City got back on top, I said, it's going to be City's from now. My point is I didn't predict Arsenal to win the league at any stage this season. No, I'm not flexing. I'm just calling out liars online. Like, I'm at no risk of paying that troll's mortgage or rent because I haven't been exposed as a hypocrite because I I typically speaking don't do that. I may have different opinions on things, but I'm not a hypocrite as best as I can see it. If I do change my mind on something, I address that I got something wrong. That's the opposite of a hypocrite. Yeah. Terry makes his opinions up to say, I told you so. But that's not true, is it? Into your nan. Do you know what I mean? It sounds like, you know, your family are all into your nan. That's why you're so stupid. But the point I'm making, yeah, it is what it is. Come on now. Come on now. It's so funny. You don't have the money to pay someone's mortgage. No, I'm broke, bruv. Zero money. As I say, it doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter that I'm poor and have no money. I won't have to pay it anyway because he's just trolling. The same as everybody's trolling right now. You're all doing it in the comments. I've been doing this game too long. I know what a troll is. Come on now. The people the funniest ones are the ones like, where's he gone? I see him in the comments a second ago. I love this guy. Comments on every video I've done for the past 7 years. Says he hates me, but he watches every single video I do. I'm one of the most important people. Don Vito's one of them. Don Vito's one of them. There's another guy. Where's he at? Has he deleted his comment? Where's his comment gone? I love this guy. When I see his comments come up in videos, I always smile, right? I'm one of the most important people in his life. Oh, has he deleted his own comment? Maybe he has. Oh, that's a shame. He's deleted his comment. He's probably deleted his own comment and then he's going to tell everybody that I did it. There's a few trolls that do that at the moment. They make comments. Oh, no, here he is. Here he is. This, my man here. This man has been watching me 3 videos a day, every day for 7 years. I better get invited to your wedding because if you get married, because the importance I have in your life is crazy, my bro. But thank you very much for always tuning in. Love it, bro. If you think Spurs will throw their game, do you think United will throw theirs versus Arsenal? Man United are not good enough to beat Arsenal, in my opinion, unless Arsenal have a really bad day. Spurs can beat Man City. They're a good enough team to do it. I think we'll try to win as a team, but we'll get beat. What percentage are you giving City and Arsenal? I'd say 80% City, 20% Arsenal from this point, my friend. That is what that's my personal breakdown. That is what I would say. United will give us the league. We could. I mean, can you imagine it? It'd be so ironic. Man United actually had one good game in the last few months, and it's against Arsenal at home and end the league campaign. It'd be crazy. V, Judge Mo, and Hassam are joining me now on the show. Welcome back, boys. Congratulations, V, on a hard-fought victory today.
Yeah. We needed this. First, I want to say, when I saw the lineup, I was like, Pep's doing what he's got to do. I know there's only one game a week now, but he's showing trust in players, right? He didn't play his strongest 11. He had some good rotation, a good mix, and I was happy with the performance. Listen, I think Wood might have watched a failed comp of Darwin Núñez before the game, because that could have easily been a 1-1 going into halftime, or even Forest being up. So listen, Núñez is still affecting the league in a negative way if you're watching his comps. The result that we got, I'm happy with it. I'm absolutely happy with it. KDB, Haaland, how many minutes was he on the pitch and he scored? It's kind of routine. You guys think that I kind of make this up when I go along and I'm saying games are going to be tough, but Forest was a tough game to deal with 3 days later. They made it difficult for us. If we just won this game 1-0, I would have been calm with it. 2-0, even better. Next up, we got to deal with Wolves. And it's game after game. Is the advantage us? Yeah, we got games in hand. And we're up, pretty much. We win what we got to win, and we win this league. I think it might be poetic. I'm talking to Hussam right now. It might be poetic for Arsenal to actually experience winning out the remaining games, City winning out the remaining games, and for them to feel the hurt, feel that pain that you've had to feel chasing a title before. It might be poetic in terms of what it means or how good you have to be to win this league. But Terry, there's not much to say, man. We win, we move.
I don't know how I live rent-free in your head. You just beat Nottingham Forest in a title run. I'm just here to say my thoughts on the game, and you see me here and you start mentioning Núñez, and so rent-free in your head. You need to pay me. I'm not trying to be in your head for free.
Hussam, you're not Liverpool. I'm speaking of Liverpool. You're not Liverpool.
I'm here to just talk about the City Forest game. That's what I'm here
and
to
I
do.
talked about I think
Is
Wood
this a
put on.
Liverpool match reaction or is this City match reaction? You sound
All
like
right,
Pep in a press
all right.
conference.
Let me
We're
hear
gonna have
you only.
really tough games.
Let me hear you only
Forest
speak
is
of City
really
then.
tough today. Wolves is gonna be tough. West Ham is gonna be. You sound like Pep Guardiola in a press conference. Like you clearly listen to him and just repeat what he says on the football terrace. But when it comes to the
These
game
are my
today,
opinions.
when
Go
you
ahead.
win the league, you make sure you give Chris Wood a medal. I think you should all mail Chris Wood a Premier League medal after you win the league today, because that guy could have scored a super hat trick alone by himself.
Who did he look like? Who did he look like?
Can I speak, Vader? Or are you gonna keep interrupting me? Thank you very much. I'm on the big screen now. I didn't interrupt you. So anyway, Darwin Wood today could have had a hat trick, a super hat trick by himself. Absolutely useless. The PGMOL once again. Here's the thing that people need to understand. Arsenal fans, I feel your pain. When you're competing against Man City, you're competing against Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, the referee association, PGMOL, the offside linesman, the fourth official, and you're also competing against the team that's playing them, striker, because for some reason he forgets how to score goals. He forgets how to take put the ball in the back of the net. Chris Wood today missed about 4 tap-ins that any of us on the panel could have scored. I'm not even exaggerating. And Manchester City today, by the way, if you guys think I'm lying, go look at the XG. Nottingham Forest XG 2. Manchester City XG 0.8. Go look at it. The XG philosophy. Look at it, read it yourself. I'm not making shit up. Forest they had 4 tap-ins they could have scored. But Manchester City are boring as hell. They do their thing and all this, but when Terry was speaking, I had to go just take a 5-minute power nap to be able to do the stream, because Manchester City bore me to death. I cannot see a more boring football club to watch in my entire life. I think, listening to Vater speak is more entertaining than watching Manchester City. They're so fucking boring. I have no idea how Man City fans watch the shit week in, week out without falling asleep. I think they need to
Because they're
start
used to
giving
your
people
chaos
blankets
football.
at
That's
the
why.
Etihad. It's so boring to
No,
watch.
I actually have to
Callum
say,
Hudson-Odoi, by the way, you could tell he's a Chelsea player. Dribbles fantastically well. When it comes to doing anything on at the end of it, nothing. Him, it's just perfect Chelsea player. Should have stayed at Chelsea. That's just the type of stuff that he
I
does.
wanna say something to them. To be honest with you guys,
Go on.
I actually think for the good of football, we all need Arsenal to win the league.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
I'm
guy.
genuinely being serious here.
Yes, I'm with
If
you.
anyone that watches football, remove your fan hat, you remove your tribalism hat, and you have to watch this and think, this team is about to win their 4th league title in a row. They're brilliant. They're amazing. Pep Guardiola is fantastic, getting the best out of everyone. I'm not slagging City. I am not. Wallahi, I'm not. You guys are
You're about
brilliant,
to slag him.
amazing.
You're about to
You
slag him.
guys are amazing. You guys are brilliant. You have the best coach ever to coach in a league ever, right? But for the good of football, you guys really need to let it go. Because everything goes your way. The luck goes your way. The calls go your way. Everything go your way, right? For the whole season. If this season end up you winning, and I'm gonna tell you one thing. Why is the Spurs game against Manchester City the last game of the season?
It's not second last.
Even at that time, Spurs might have been already out of the Champions League.
So
Why is it there? Why isn't Spurs game against Man City early? Why did they have to schedule that game late? And to be honest, why? Why does that game? Why? Because we all know that this game will end up with Spurs rolling over for Arsenal, for Man City. Because
no, you don't know
Spurs fan. Okay, listen. Spurs fans literally said that we would rather not make Champions League than Arsenal win the Premier League. I promise you, if we make a poll, if we ask 1,000 Spurs fans, right, 900 of them will say we would rather not make the Champions League. It's the first year of our project. Then we live in London, or we live another season when Arsenal are the champions.
Because
why
they know
did
what's
the
good for
Premier League
football.
schedule that game that late? Why didn't it get shoved in the middle of the week somewhere? Why is it at the end of the league?
Because
I'm being serious. I'm being genuinely serious.
Mo.
Why all the 50-50 calls in this season? I'm going to give you a 50-50 call. Arsenal against Newcastle, right? The ball went out. The linesman could have called it out early and wait for it to happen. The referee, looking at Gabriel, could have called that. And I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I'm just saying.
Wait,
again,
hold on. You're going back to the Newcastle.
yeah.
Oh
Because,
my
here we
goodness.
go. I'm gonna tell you why I'm
I
going
thought
back
this
to
was a City
Let me-
reaction, but go ahead.
yeah,
Do what
yeah.
you got to do.
And
Go
it's
ahead,
a
Mo.
City
Go ahead.
reaction. You know why? Do you know why, Vader?
It
Because
wasn't a
at the-
City reaction when you're talking about Nunez.
Yeah, because at the end of the
I
day,
compared him with Wood, and you did the
Vader,
exact same
because at
thing.
the end of Vader, because at the end of the day, Vader, you are challenging Arsenal and you might win the league in the last game, right? So all these small margins, the Rodri handball, the red card against Brighton that
this
wasn't
is-
given for Liverpool, the goal against Spurs that was not
The
given for
penalty,
Liverpool.
McAllister.
Yeah, oh, the penalty. You
No,
could
no,
have
no.
been 2 points
Liverpool
behind.
are out. We're
At
not
the
talking
end
about
of the
Liverpool.
day,
Mo, can I ask you a
Vader,
question on those decisions? Can I ask you a question, Mo? Do you think that they were lucky not to concede a penalty when Ederson smashed into Willy Bolly?
Of course, that's a pen.
hold
Oh,
on.
We saw
no,
with
no,
Onana
no.
yesterday. What do you mean? Oh,
I
it's
thought
the
that was
same
the other-
shit.
Okay, to be honest, I thought that was the other way.
Same
Willy
thing that
Bolly
happened
is
with
the one who
Onana.
smashed into him.
Yeah, okay. So now Ederson can jump in and
Come
smash the shit out
on.
of the guy. Bro, he boxed him. Are we
No.
watching MMA or are we watching football?
Let me watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again
Yeah,
while you guys
watch it
talk,
again.
so
Watch
I
it
can
again.
actually give a
50-50.
fair assessment, so I won't lie. Go ahead.
It was
Ederson
a
came
50-50.
out and he
I
literally
don't lie. I never
fly
come to the
punched
terrace
the
and
guy,
lie.
Mo.
I never lie.
He fly punched the guy. There's no tears. He
Some
It was
fly
people
punched
do.
the guy.
50-50. I'm not mad
City
at that at
fans
all.
on the chat, you would have all supported Everton if the Sheikh bought Everton. So
No,
listen,
but that's
you are
besides the
listen.
point.
You're sexually attracted to trophies. That's what you are. So just
No,
leave
that's not
me
true.
alone. You get me? There's no tears. Truth hurts you. Truth hurts you. And the truth is, today Forest should have had a penalty and they should have scored 4 goals. That's just the reality. So
No,
don't even
that's not the
start.
truth. The hardest thing
Don't
to
even
do in
start.
football is to score goals. You've seen your own man not able to score goals, but you want to say Chris
He
Wood
made
should have
it about
scored
me
those.
again. Rent free.
No, you're making
free.
a point that what you saw should be goals. No, it should not have
Make
been
your
goals.
point without mentioning Liverpool. I dare you. Here, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna mute my mic here.
The most difficult thing in football is to score a goal. All right? We all support our clubs. We've seen our players miss chances. Chris Wood missed
Hold
chances.
on.
Just because he missed,
Hold on.
you're gonna hear yourself say it should have been a goal. No, because we all miss goals, and he missed. He was not good enough on the day. Now, this wanting and going back, Mo, going back to past calls, this all the way going back to the Newcastle game. Come on, man, you're better than this. We're dealing about today's game. Today's game had to see City get the result and move on, and that's what they did. The best thing for this game, the best thing for this league, is for it to go to the final day.
Okay,
Let's get
hold
some
on. I
more
want to
drama.
say
Let's-
something here. Why did Simon Hooper look at it and give a free kick to City? It goes back to the point that we always say. For Manchester City, we give the call to Man City,
You know why?
and then we see it's a clear and obvious. While for
Yeah, I'll tell you
Onana,
why.
the guy didn't give a call the other day. They didn't give a call and waited for VAR. Like Simon Hooper could not wait.
I'll tell you why.
Could not wait to whistle to give the call to Man City and then wait for VAR if it's clear and obvious to correct him. Why? Can
I'll tell
someone
you why.
explain to me
I'll
why
tell
didn't
you
he
why.
let it go if they both crash into each other? Because clearly Ederson is also going forward. Ederson aren't going for the ball. The one who played the ball is Akanji. Akanji cleared the ball. Why is Ederson going forward, smashing into Willy Bolly? Maybe Willy Bolly is going to him. But why the referee clearly?
What is going
Vader,
on here?
explain to me why the referee was so quick to whistle the call for Man City when none of them got the ball, right? And then wait for VAR to correct. Can you explain?
What was the correction? Because he whistled the ball for Man City, and it ended up being a ball for Manchester City. So what's the problem here? He whistled it, right?
No,
He whistled
Akanji
it on the
cleared
field.
the
The
ball.
problem is this is not WWE. That's the
Oh
problem.
my gosh, let me explain.
Which one is that?
Mo
That's-
asked a question.
Terry, can
Mo
you
asked a
just put it
question.
on the screen
What is
again?
the foul?
Can you
What
just
is
No,
put
the
we
it
don't
on
need
the
to
screen?
put it on the screen again.
What?
We don't-
Okay, so how is this not a foul? Explain to me. Go on.
Akanji
That's not a
clearing
foul.
the
What are we
ball.
doing here, man?
Akanji
Why
clearing
are
the
we
ball.
speaking on
It was
straws?
called yesterday.
It wasn't
was
a foul.
called
This wasn't a
yesterday.
foul. I think Akanji clears the ball, so at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. And
Well, yesterday,
Akanji got the
Onana.
We're not
ball.
talking about yesterday.
Nobody
This
touched
guy
the
is
ball.
collided
No.
with
This guy is saying this is a collision when Ederson is jumping with both arms
an
clinched
Oh,
together.
you're trying to judge a
punching.
still image.
guy
Come on,
on the
guys.
face
You're
of
better
straws.
than this.
You're better than
No,
this.
no, no.
man.
I'm
You
not.
guys
I'm
are
not
lying
gonna
getting
say
punches
this is a
have
penalty
seen.
or not. I'm not with Hussam here.
You're
I am
crying
not.
because City.
No,
are
Everyone
losing
is
the game.
Cam 115 in the chat.
I
right
am
now.
not. I'm not with Hussam. Okay. I'm not gonna say this is a penalty or not a penalty because both of them are jumping into each other.
Akanji clears the ball.
My problem, guys, is that I'm gonna keep repeating this again until you guys realize for Manchester City, the call gets given to Manchester City, and then we see what happens if it's clear and obvious. While for other teams, it's a no.
No,
We give the call against them, and then we see if VAR corrects or not. Let me tell you, today for Arsenal, in front of him, right?
Why we
Declan Rice is kicking Ben Davis. He chose not to give it until it's like the VAR is like, well, you know what? This is very clear. You gotta look at it. He's looking at Declan Rice kicking Ben Davis, and he chose not to give it. Right? He's looking at Gabriel. Right? Being put. Listen. This is. I'm not saying this is a penalty or not. I'm giving you what happens in the Premier League.
Mo, I hear what you're saying, Mo. Let me say this now. Akanji clearing it is irrelevant. I'll tell you why. If we're going to debate this properly, Akanji clearing it is irrelevant. I'll tell you why. Say Akanji clears it, but Edison then puts his foot into the player behind him face. It's still a foul, right? Just because Akanji cleared the ball doesn't stop it from being a foul. I want to put it into the screen here so you guys can see it. It is a coming together, okay? But as you can see, as this moves forward, it's the arms of the goalkeeper that smash into the player. They're both moving at the same time, right? It's the arms that smash into his head, or you could say it's his head that smash into his arms. Are we in agreement of that? The arms and heads meet at the same time. Is that a fair way of saying it?
And look at his
One
elbow.
is moving towards him.
Okay, but look, hang on, just guys, we do this sensibly. So we can all agree that head and arms are the first things to touch each other, yes or no?
Yes.
Of both players, right, Terry? You're looking at the Forest player and his elbow colliding with Ederson,
hang on a minute. Just please answer my question so that we can follow this thoroughly. We are all in agreement that it's arms and head are the first two parts of the body to collide, yes or no?
Yes.
Both players.
Yes. Okay, cool. So the reason why I think it needs to be discussed or at least debated is this. If two defenders go to header a ball and their heads clash, it's never a foul, is it? Have you ever seen a head clash between players be given as a foul?
No.
So if a defender's going in with his head to win the ball,
Yep.
if he then clashes into somebody, it's never a foul. But the fact that the goalkeeper has used his arms, that is a foul, surely.
No.
Why is it why not?
I tell you why. It's simple. If Ederson's moved that way, but ball is moving towards him, he's not like a ghost. He's not gonna disappear. Ball is the one who's fouling him because he's moving towards Ederson. Ederson's got his arms there. This ball is moving towards Ederson like a fraud. And he's hit that down. He's hitting past Ederson.
Comedy show now.
So the guy's a fraud.
Professor's right. Let me also add to that.
This stand-up comedy. Is this stand-up comedy?
No, it's not stand-up comedy. Let me also add to this. The reason why it's not a foul, Terry, is because unlike the defender, Ederson or keepers can play with their hand, right? So think of his hand as a defender's head. He can play towards the ball using his hands, as a defender can play using his head towards the ball.
So based on what you're saying, Onana shouldn't have been a foul yesterday because his arm that hit him.
I didn't watch the game. So,
that's where I think I get your logic.
I'm only dealing with today.
I get where your logic is, but we saw.
I'll tell you why.
Hang on, please let me finish. We saw Onana arm hit a player's head. It was a penalty. We saw at the World Cup, famously, Lloris come out to punch a ball. He misses the ball and punches a player's head. That wasn't treated like a head clash. Head clashes, and I'll give you a prime example. When David Luiz cracked the skull of Jimenez, it wasn't given as a penalty or a free kick. It's just a clash of heads. It's almost the only time in football you can actually be late to a ball. Even if a player wins a ball with a head first, and then there's a clash of heads, you never see anyone sent off. It's one of those kind of unwritten rules within the game. So my point in this is, Willy Boley's gone to win the ball with his head. Akanji's cleared it. But the goalkeeper's got his arms out and hits him. So I just want to understand, is it the speed that Willy Boley's moving at? If he was standing more still? Yeah, but the goalkeeper's coming out at the same time. They're both moving like this towards the ball.
But this is a problem.
No, Hamza, that's not the case. We can slow it down again here. You can see they're both moving towards each other. Okay, you can see they both move towards each other, right? So is it maybe, I'm trying to be fair here. Do you think that it didn't get given because Willy Boley is the stronger player and kind of wins the physical challenge? If it was the other way around, if Willy Boley got hit and it was Willy Boley laying on the floor with his head bleeding, would they then have given it maybe?
Possibly, but the reason why I think it's not given is because it's literally, as you're going frame by frame, they collide at the same time. And Bowley's elbow, his forearm, is in Ederson's chest at the same time. So you could look at the head, you can look at his forearm, and you could look at Ederson making contact as well. I think it's
Onana's different. Onana's different. Onana went and punched the player. Bloody hell. Assault.
It's exactly the same for me. Both goalkeepers have gone to try and punch the ball. They've not got the ball and they've hit a player in the head. But this is what I think. I think the only difference between the two things is we played Burnley player yesterday was kind of jumping up vertically where our goalkeeper came out into him. This is more of a 50-50. I agree. I've seen people in the comment section say it. But I'm just trying to, again, I would love to sit with the referees and ask them these questions and say, well, if it was two head clashes, it would be nothing. But if a goalie's arms are out, how do you judge it? These are the kind of questions that the Michael Owens, when he does his show with Howard Webb, should be asking. So we all get a better understanding and it helps us in our assessments. But it was a 50-50. I do get where Mo's coming from, though. But you know when it's a 50-50, it never goes against Man City, ever.
I'll explain why as well. Listen, the reason why these
Man City fans don't see this? Why?
No, the reason
I don't get it, honestly.
Like, I don't get it, to be honest.
Okay, I'll explain it. Possession is 9/10 the law. You know this, Mo. You live in the U.S., right? We have the ball predominantly throughout a game, and when you have that, I think psychologically the ref sees you as the aggressor. The ref sees you as dictating. So when you happen to
he's right. He's right. He's 100% right.
Let him finish, please. Let him finish.
So when you happen to have possession that often and you happen to lose it, the benefit of the doubt goes, maybe there was a foul there. I think that goes into the minds of these refs as they're dictating these games. That's my opinion.
Okay. This is exactly what I said the other day, Vader. That the problem is Pep created this thing that when I have the position, I cannot be the aggressor. And the problem is, how do we have professional referees falling into this trap? How do you have a professional referee falling into, still until this moment, Jack Grealish jumps into players' legs and the foul is given to him? How are we always sitting here and saying that because Man City, you are literally saying, Vader, you just admitted that because City have possessions, they're being favored by the referees. He just said that. That. He literally just said that. He said because we have the possession, we cannot.
You did say it. Like again,
when a team has predominantly more possession, I think they get the advantage. They get the advantage. Not just City.
I give you a lot of respect for that. Do you know why? Because at least you're admitting it, and at least you're admitting it, and you're saying, "Yeah, I see it as well," as opposed to "No, it's all normal." Look, we have seen some things. We have seen some things in the Premier League in years gone by. You guys scored a goal that was about 35 yards offside. It was so offside. It wasn't even an apology after the game. They had to redefine the law of the game to make sure that it never happens again.
Which goal was
that? You were playing Aston Villa, I believe. It was about 3 or 4 seasons ago. And
Coutinho's goal.
No, I don't know who Coutinho didn't play for you. You scored a goal. I'd have to go back and watch it. I don't remember the players that were involved specifically. But you had a player that was about 30 yards offside. It wasn't given. VAR didn't intervene. And it wasn't just an apology that came afterwards. They had to redefine the law.
Was it because the defender had possession and we had a player in the
player was in offside position.
Yeah.
Referee said it was offside, but they carried on playing. And then the guy with possession came back around, took the ball and ran on with it. And the referees come out and said, we absolutely got that one wrong. And I think that's where people have a slight issue with these things. However, look, people used to say the same very thing about Man United when we were the best. And what I will say is this, where I defend Man City is I don't believe it's corruption. I don't believe that the referees are consciously cheating or you're paying them. This is what happens. We see it in boxing. There are we see it in MMA. Sometimes the champion is losing and getting beaten up, but the ref lets the game go on a little bit longer, go on a little bit longer. And sometimes those champions come back because they're amazing. Where if a lesser known fighter was getting beat up that bad, they step in and they stop the fight. Mm-hmm. These biases are often subconscious.
And you can create
referees don't know they're doing it, and it impacts people. Also, the manager and it's one of the things about Man United under Oli that annoyed us. We were getting penalties, rightfully so, because the way we played, the movement in the box, we were getting a lot of penalties. And then Klopp came out and moaned about it, and suddenly we weren't getting penalties. You could almost break our leg with a baseball bat in the box, and we wouldn't get a penalty. As Man United fans, what we were most angry about is that we didn't have a manager or a team with the aura to push back,
speak up,
and try and impact. And this is the thing. It's why managers are always planting seeds into referees' heads early. Sometimes they praise them, sometimes they moan about them. It's all to try and gain an advantage on the football pitch in your next game. And City, I'm glad to see V admit to it that
Terry,
City
you're
are getting that right now.
Of course, you're not going to get calls like this. Hold on, Mo. You're not going to get calls like this if you got chaos football and you're anti against possession. You're not going to get this because the ball's always away from your foot. But if you happen to have control, you're dictating possession, you're dictating play, you're forcing the opposition to have to defend. You get calls more your way. But when you're anti-possession, why are you going to get the calls? You barely have the ball.
Veta, let me just say one thing. The ones who get most favors, I'm sorry to say that, if you ask anyone, go and ask anyone in England, walk around. Just use the word, who are the media darlings at the ref of football? Liverpool Football Club will get, they'll get referee sacked. Like, everyone has to apologize. They're the biggest penalty.
Spurs away.
Complain.
Man United,
This is the
you want
problem
to keep
with
going.
and it's a Liverpool
See
fan.
how
Arsenal fans don't do this. It's not the Arsenal fans that create this. The Liverpool fans are the ones who they blame their failures to everyone else's fault. And they complain so much. The referee had to be sacked, had to be demoted. It never happened in Premier League history.
He was the referee today, by the way.
And the referee had to be careful. We have to be careful. You cannot complain about it because Liverpool are very, very, like, I'm sorry to say that, Sam. You and your media guys, the Michael Owen, the McMahon, they all infiltrate the media. Yeah. They cause this problem. They're the ones that instill all this
repeating the same shit over and over again.
I haven't heard this. I haven't heard this yet.
I mean, I literally called that he'll say Liverpool. So how come you haven't heard it?
Guys, look, moving on from this side of things.
KDB a little bit? Can we talk about
I wanted to bring up Haaland first of all. We will talk KDB. I wanted to bring up Haaland because he went through ridiculous levels of criticism a few weeks ago. Roy Keane, a legend of my football club, one of the best midfielders the Premier League has ever seen, an amazing footballer, an amazing leader. But his comments about Erling Haaland, I thought were hyperbolic at best, just disgustingly disrespectful at worst, saying that he's a League Two player. He comes on, seals the deal today, Hamza, for you with a really well taken goal.
Talk about Haaland.
Impressive, yeah, completely. He's a guy. He's missed many months. He's come in when we needed him, and he's obviously had a rough time this season. There's a lot of things that's been going off his family life, and we know these footballers are human beings. He lost his grandma this season, and it's hard to lose your loved one and go through and still continue to play. And he's been playing with a stress fracture. We're hearing that he's been playing with injuries, getting injection and painkillers, but despite that, we're top of the league. No, he's the top scorer. And today, to come back when we need you most, and the composure he had in front of goal to dribble in a big game, in a game that we needed to win. This is when I talk about great players. They could disappear a couple of weeks, but when you need them, they will always pop up. There's a reason why Haaland is special. I'm sorry to say this about Terry. Roy Keane, obviously, he's emotional. He was a great player. But we know Roy Keane often calls out players. Even he called out his own player when he was playing for United in the Middlesbrough game, I remember. So Roy Keane would say something so emotionally driven, which is wrong. You can't be a Division 2 player, banging 50 goals a season, breaking all the records. The only Division 2 player I see is the guy that couldn't even score against Coventry, Haaland. My guy is scoring big games. Today you saw composure in front of goal. He changed the game. The link-up play, the dribble he had. He changed the whole thing. And for us to win this way, he should be congratulated. People should say, wow, what a performance. Lack of match fitness. He's come in there and we want to know because he changed the game completely. And KDB was impressive. Yeah. And you know what? This is why he's the best striker in front of goal. Because he can go missing.
9 minutes, Professor.
Can I,
he got subbed on and scored in 9 minutes.
Before you go on to KDB, I want to. Do you guys think that Erling Haaland now, that his first season was fantastic and amazing? You guys think Erling Haaland now can be, because Man City have the position all the time, there is no spaces, can be a bench player until the game opens up a little bit so he can have spaces and score these goals? Do you guys think that can be the case?
No way, no chance.
What?
He's such a great player that
why not? I'm being serious, by the way.
I'm really being serious.
Wallahi, I'm being serious.
If a striker, tell me a striker that is guaranteeing you to bang you at least 30 goals.
No one.
How
So
can you drop
can I
him on
ask
the
you
bench?
something, Hamza?
He has to be the star player.
Why Haaland in the games that don't have spaces a little bit doesn't contribute a lot? Yeah, he might get a tap in here, he might get a goal in here. Why does he more when Luton opened up? He scored 5 goals today when the game opened up. Fantastic goal, by the way. It was absolutely brilliant. He taking the guy, great finish. But when there is spaces, don't you think that because you're Manchester City and you're the best team in the world in having the possession and smothering the opposition and having all of that, don't you think that Erling Haaland suits more a team that is opening up a little bit?
I think there's two things why he didn't bang this season. One, I think Gundogan used to link up with him very well and used to play the through balls fantastically. And the second thing, he used to have the left back and the left winger who are Grealish. And Grealish and him used to link up. Grealish, unfortunately, has been injured. So he's missed out the 2 most crucial players that he often plays well with. Gundogan was a big blow because how many assists did Gundogan used to make to us? But whenever he makes a run, we don't pick him up. I've seen him. Bernardo's not picking him up. Until KDB.
Hamza, where are the runs? Hamza, there are no spaces for Man City. Hamza, there are no spaces. Most of the teams you guys play, there are no spaces for Haaland to run into. Unless you are winning 1-2-0. Like that's just
to your point, Mo. To your point.
I'm basically off because today when he had space,
just said he needs to be on the bench.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part.
Why? Can you explain why it's a crazy take?
Yeah,
why is a crazy take?
It's a crazy take because the hardest thing to do is to score goals, and you're going to want a player that puts the fear of death in these defenders. There's a reason why he gets 2-3 people occupying him and trying to suffocate and take away the supply line because he's that important. Okay. So if you have that as a threat, then it's on the rest of the 10 players to make it work around him.
So his job is to distract the people.
No, his job is that he's so clinical, so dangerous that sometimes an opposition team is going to focus on stopping him. So the rest need to
are they allowed? Are they okay? Can they stop him though?
If you have 3 players trying to stop 1 player, yes, I think it's possible. But look, when we've had games when Alvarez has started instead of Haaland, I don't think you've seen much more goal threat from an Alvarez, right? If you're gonna credit him for more of a build-up play, the same thing. We want goals though. So in that position, I think we need Haaland first. Pep's been trying to figure out how to have Haaland and Alvarez, but there is no way the Prem goal record holder is going to be an impact sub.
No, I agree. Listen, I've defended Haaland so much. I know City fans are going, "You got an agenda against my club." I don't. I think it's mad how I can have an agenda against the club, but also say that you're the best team in the world and consistently praise how good you are. And then I defend Haaland like he's one of my players. Yes, there's areas that his game needs to improve on. I know people in the comments have already said, "Oh, it wasn't his finishing that was criticised. It's his overall play." I don't know what this means anymore. I understand that peak level, not even Aguero's, but Benzema's and Harry Kane's, they have attributes to their game that Haaland doesn't. But equally, Haaland is a better goal scorer than these individuals. At the age he's at, he's doing a lot more than what these guys were. And he's got other areas that will develop. I understand if you need a player that has a Harry Kane or a Benzema skill set, where they're more multifaceted, and there's a good choice of strikers out there. Maybe you wouldn't pick a Haaland for your team if you needed someone like a Harry Kane. But City don't need a number 9 who is an elite level facilitator because of all the quality creators they have around him. So it's about the blend.
And they don't have scoring wingers either. That's another thing.
Yeah, So from my point of view, I've just felt that the criticism of Haaland is almost, he's been so brilliant since he broke through in Europe a few years ago. People were waiting for a little bad patch, and his bad patch is still better than most people's purple patches. And then there was this massive pile on him with just, again, exaggerated, hyperbolic, over-the-top analysis with, forget what Roy Keane said, people online jumped on it because there are some people online that still to this day, they assess football players like it's ballet, like it's breakdancing, like it's gymnastics, and all the form and how this looks, or how a player makes me feel. I understand how important that is, but at the same time, some of these guys that I see say it, I then see him tweet about a striker from the 90s who was no different to a Haaland and go, "This guy was a legend and a baller." I'm like, No, he was okay at hold-up play, but he was just an elite level finisher. By the way, Haaland scoring at 2 to 3 times the rate this man was. It's all just a lot of it is nonsense when it comes to him. On KDB, again, I want to defend KDB. I've seen City fans do it this year. We need to look to move him on. We need to look to do this. Maybe he should be holding.
This is
bench.
true. Thank you for saying this.
Yeah, but I can't fathom it. I watch him play. Most of the games I've seen him have for you in this run-in, even in the Champions League when you went out, he's still brilliant today. Created both your chances. One of the greatest midfielders in Premier League history. In my opinion, the greatest midfielder in at least your Premier League history. I'm not going to speak about the olden days because I don't know that much about City from that era. So I'm not going to disrespect those old. I'm not going to disrespect those old legends. But KDB again today, V, coming up trumps, delivering for City.
Yeah, Terry. There's a reason why I get so much love in the chat, right? Because you see the platinums. I don't talk crazy. I take my time. I study. I have a proper approach. Those that wanted to talk about KDB was only because he was injured. They finally had a chance to really go after him because he's inconsistent.
But it was your own fan base.
Let me finish. See, you want to talk about being interrupted? I just started speaking.
I just said one sentence. Don't cry.
Well, let me just finish my train of thought. KDB, they went after him because he's been injured. They went after him because he's been inconsistent, coming off of an injury, 5-6 months. And he's been important to us his entire career at City. There's a reason why Professor and I agree he's going to go down as the greatest. He remains here. He's already on track to surpass everybody else. I know you want to talk the longevity with regards to goals, but KDB has been phenomenal. Now, when he does what he does, and everybody wants to categorize it as spamming or being wasteful with the pass, sometimes you have to break some eggs to make a beautiful souffle. And he takes his chances often, and he's the one that unlocks Haaland most of the times because he's brave to do that. He can shoot, he can score, he can defend, he can be a part of build-up. The cross today, it's off a corner. Do we expect those often? Not necessarily, but when he delivers, he delivers. If anyone wants to doubt KDB and say that they need to maybe shy away from him being involved in, it's not time. It will get there because he's on the 30 side of his career. But it's too early to say he needs to be load managed like they used to do with regards to Kawhi Leonard for you North Americans that follow the NBA. There's no management that needs to happen with KDB.
I said, I have no problem with what you're saying. I think greatest is crazy, but let's push that to the side. When you're talking about, they're talking about that only because he was injured and blah, blah, blah. What Terry said is true, and it's with your own fan base. Like, it's forget us. It's not rivals. It's not like a salty Liverpool fan.
I was talking to everybody without the experience and wisdom.
Second, it's not a salty Liverpool fan or a salty Arsenal fan. The reality is there were people in your fan base that are saying it's time to move on from Kevin De Bruyne and it's time to look for something new. Was it said or was it not said? It was said.
I've never had of anyone.
I can send you a link to a video right now from Mr. Fan. Don't even try.
Who said it? Who said it?
There are City fans who said it's time to move on.
Do you agree with it? Do you agree with it?
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you agree with it?
I don't agree with it.
No. I don't know their names. I don't know. Yeah, again, I'll say this, Hamza. I don't remember all of their names. I mean, obviously, Patrick said that he thinks he should be on the bench for a large amount of games. I just remember reading comments from people that are clearly City fans who weren't slagging him off. They weren't saying he's trash, he's dead. It was just we need to move on from him. Yeah, and I just feel that was a little bit. You've got Liverpool fans doing it right now to Mo Salah. And I feel like just because a slightly older player has a bad month or two doesn't mean they're done and they're finished. And I just thought that there was a little bit of disrespect put upon KDB. And yeah, he's a phenom. And he stepped up again today and delivered for City. Without those, the ball, the quality of ball in, you may not win today. He's just a phenom.
But he's so disrespected for some reason. Nobody wants to put him with the Gerrard and the Lampards and the Scholes.
He's beyond Gerrard. He surpassed Gerrard years ago.
As people are afraid because he still plays.
As soon as Harry hears Gerrard, he gets triggered. KDB couldn't lace his boots. Calm down.
No. Gerrard. Of course he can't lace. Lace Gerrard's boots because Gerrard's not allowed into the club with legends like KDB and Scholes. Gerrard's not allowed in, bruv. Gerrard doesn't have the admission.
Most overrated Premier League player of all time.
No, he's not overrated. He's not overrated. He's not overrated. He's not overrated.
You've built his whole legacy based on made-up quotes. Let's not go there.
No, I built his whole legacy on being the dominant midfield player in the most dominant in the most dominant midfield in the most dominant team, that he was integral in making win all those major trophies for nearly a quarter of a century. That's
never
what
even
it's
won
based
the
on.
United Player of the Year. Apparently, he was dominant.
Even me.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
Very relevant. He was
Do you
never even
want
the
to
best player.
do you want to know why? Do you want to know why it's irrelevant? You like Messi was always winning the Ballon d'Or. Does that mean that Xavi and Iniesta weren't world class? Does that mean Busquets wasn't world class? See, when you have a team that has 3, 4, 5, 6 players that are world class, you do realize it means that some of them are not going to win the individual player awards.
But you never had Messi.
They were still
You never had
recognized
Messi.
individually.
Yeah,
You
but
never had
goals
Messi.
hang on, but we have
Messi never had
is a
Messi.
freak.
hang on. But
Wait,
I'm using
wait,
it as an. But it's relative to the winning
not
stuff.
relative.
No,
Not
you know, let me finish, Mo. Of course, he played with Ronaldo, who's the only guy that's ever compared.
Just 3 seasons.
No, it's not free. No, they played with each other from 2004 until 2009.
When Ronaldo was on top of his game, it
Mo,
was 3-4 seasons.
Mo, let me finish talking, Mo, and then you'd understand where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
When I say it's relative, is Sam's opinion was based on winning your club awards. Okay, so it doesn't. The example I gave at Barcelona is because we all understand who the players are, but it's relative to every club. If you've got a team that's if Liverpool had 5 or 6 Gerrards at the same time in different positions, Gerrard wouldn't have won his individual Player of the Year award as regularly as he did.
Which is why I don't use trophies as a measuring stick.
Look, you had brilliant teams as well, but the point is this: to say that Scholes shouldn't be rated because he didn't win Man United's Player of the Year is crazy. We know those things are flawed
already for me.
Well, then he's better than Gerrard then as well.
Even me as a rival, Scholes way better than Gerrard. No disrespect. I hate United.
Hamza, shall I play the clip of what you said about Scholes a week ago? Shall I play it?
I've watched
Don't
both
lie,
of them play.
Shall I play the clip? No one's there. Shall I play the clip?
No, play.
You know why Mo's laughing? You know last week when he was saying about Scholes.
The one thing
Scholes
about
had to
legacy
retire because Gerrard and Lampard were better. Shall I play the clip or are you going to own it right now?
Yeah, play. I didn't say that.
Shall I play the clip?
At the end
Okay,
of
I'll
the
play
day,
the clip right now.
Scholes has won multiple Premier League titles.
No problem. I'll play the
Gerrard
clip.
has zero. Like literally, how can we say the great?
No problem. I'll play the clip right now.
People laugh at you. Like, if you speak to Real Madrid fans, say the greatest for us is the Premier League player midfield of all time is Steven Gerrard. He has 0 Premier League. He has never won a Premier League title. Professor has got over 13. He sits down on the floor. And the biggest excuse, this is the problem with Liverpool fans, because they have a low standard. They haven't met the standards of United fans. United fans have seen their clubs win trophies. These guys have not seen their club win trophies. They keep talking about the same Champions League, about Istanbul. That's the only story they will tell you. And the goal he scored against West Ham. Oh, he should be there because of the Istanbul story. When Yetsi Dudek saved them. It's Yetsi Dudek, the one that made saves.
And they want you to believe, Professor, they want you to believe that he played with bums his entire career.
We have to respect that. Scholes to me was elite. Even Zidane spoke about him. Even Zidane. Xavi, yes, I saw him against Barcelona. He was playing amazing. Scholes was amazing. And he used to play as a striker, moved as a midfielder. This guy bowled out again.
Yeah, I hear that, but back to Mo's point, that the disrespect that KDB gets.
Yeah, for some reason, people are afraid because he plays for Manchester City and because of Pep Guardiola. I think for me, KDB surpasses a lot of players in the history of the Prem. He's a fantastic footballer. He's arguably one of the only players that actually is.
1 second, I got the clip. I have to play.
He's just gonna wait the clip.
No, because this guy's a chameleon. I'm not going to allow him to change colors. Listen to this right here. Now,
your Scholes was playing as a left wing. You have moved left wing for England because you know his position. Because Gerrard and Lampard were better than him. Don't bring that.
Done.
International. Wasn't that international?
I said international level. I didn't say Premier League.
Do not defend your king at all costs like a fraud. Be quiet.
What are you talking about, my king, and telling me to be quiet? You're not going to tell me to be quiet on a panel show.
He said Gerrard and Lampard are better than
international
football.
Top line.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but no, you are right. KDB does get. It does get disrespected, and I
believe KDB is better than Xavi, Iniesta. He's better than these guys for sure, 100%. On ability, People don't understand that you play as a midfielder. By the way, both played for a dominant team. Xavi and Iniesta had a get out of jail card in Lionel Messi. KDB played with completely different teams over the years. He scored more goals. He had more assists. And I think that these people are afraid to say that KDB is better than these guys because KDB plays football and it's nostalgia. This guy KDB, every time he plays for Manchester City, he's fantastic. And people say he's not clutch. Just watch the semi-final last year, right? Again, it's people, but he didn't play the final. He got injured. What do you want him to play? Play on crutches in the Champions League finals? Rudiger took him out and he was injured last time. I think people don't understand that it's nostalgia when people say Xavi and Iniesta. They are good players, fantastic players, but this guy has more goals than them, I think more assists than them, played lesser games than them, and didn't have Messi to bail him out.
But you know what they say, Mo?
Guys, one more thing. KDB won the Premier League sometimes with Manchester City without a striker. Genuinely without a striker. But people forget that. He won the Premier League for Manchester City without a striker because but he always had an elite striker. No, he didn't. Sometimes Man City played without a striker and KDB still looked fantastic and amazing.
You know what they say, Mo?
I don't know why people... And by the way...
And you've admitted this before.
Forget
you have a Barcelona agenda. Stop comparing KDB to Xavi and Iniesta. That's embarrassing. Xavi and Iniesta
not.
are on a table.
You like Messi, and you don't want to say it.
Are on a table with Zidane for the
No, they aren't. They aren't. They played with Messi and get out a jail card. Pass. Yeah, great. Keep the ball under Pep Guardiola. And pass to Messi that make everything happen. Remember the Arsenal game when they looked absolutely good passing the ball, and Messi at the end won the game, scored 4 goals. The difference between them and KDB is KDB literally can win you the game by himself. He doesn't need Messi. He doesn't need Haaland. He doesn't need anyone.
By himself?
KDB, I'm telling you, forget the national teams.
Wow.
Because George Weah was great for AC Milan, but for the national team, it's different. I'm talking about club football. KDB literally can play with Gabriel Jesus. He would look fantastic. Aguero look fantastic. With Sane look fantastic. With Haaland, still look great.
Jesus.
That's the difference. People don't realize this. Yes, Xavi and Iniesta and all. Hussam, you cannot have the argument about schools, right? You cannot have the argument about Paul Scholes not being good, but the same breath, you say Xavi and Iniesta are above everybody. What is it? Because Scholes, right, had the team, but Xavi and Iniesta had Messi with them. Which one is it? You cannot have the same.
And that's
you cannot have
the
choose your battles, Habibi. Choose your
My argument was always on an individual basis. First of all, the fact that you compare Scholes to Xavi and Iniesta is disrespectful, or Gerrard, or Lampard, or anyone. There is no one who played in the Premier League ever that's on Iniesta or Xavi's level.
Why?
Xavi, Iniesta, and Zinedine Zidane. Okay, so you're gonna interrupt? Can I speak?
Can you explain why before you say statements that are out of such a statement to please the people?
Go on mute.
Go on mute. You're rattled because you're not.
Mo's right. Answer that question. Why, when you say no one in the Premier League compares to them, break that down. Why can you not compare anybody to them?
Iniesta and Zidane are the 3 best individual midfielders.
But why? Why? We get that. Why?
Because of what they can affect a game with. Because of their abilities, because of what they did statistically, and because of how they performed even with the others not being there. This example of just having Messi, Alex Song played with Messi. Busquets played with Messi. I don't think Busquets is the best DM ever just because he played with Messi. There are many midfielders in La Liga history who have played with Messi. There are many midfielders who played with Cristiano Ronaldo in his prime. There are many midfielders who has played. Zinedine Zidane had a Galactico team. But Zinedine Zidane was looked at as the best player there. Iniesta as well, when he went to play for Spain, he was the best player in that Spanish side that was star-studded at the World Cup. Xavi was the best player in the Spanish side that was star-studded, even though his role was literally basically dictating tempo and passing the football essentially at an elite level and controlling, the game. So those 3 midfielders for me are ability-wise and like even from a statistic perspective, above all the Premier League midfielders from that level. The only thing that you can bring against them is goal scoring. That's the only thing you can bring against them. But everything else that they do,
By the way,
everything else
Pirlo's
they do
better
at
than
a much
Pirlo's
superior
better than
level.
Xavi.
Sam, you lied about Iniesta in the World
Pirlo
Cup.
is better than
He wasn't the
Xavi.
best player.
And if you want to talk about the way they play football, Pirlo as a midfielder is better than Xavi. Won the World Cup, won Champions League.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I
was
never mentioned any trophies.
Okay, so okay. What about ability? What do you mean ability? You are the one who says it's very easy to play in the Pep system because you pass the ball around. Who affects the game more? Who affects the game more? And I'm gonna
Iniesta
ask you
affects
one.
the game more
I'm
than
gonna
KDB.
ask you one question, Hussam. Do you think Barcelona are the same Barcelona without Messi?
Nope.
Do I think Barcelona are the same Barcelona without the best player in football history? What a question there, Mo.
Yes, exactly. Do you think they
Great
could have won the same exact trophy cabinets without Messi?
Nope.
No, but they couldn't
Okay,
have won it without Xavi and Iniesta either.
Oh, that's okay.
Exactly.
Guys,
That's
I
why
think it's a really good. I want to go to some of these super chats here just before the end of the show. Here, this is David Silva was as good as Xavi and Iniesta. There was a reason why he was called the magician. Is what goal with the flow says. On Xavi and Iniesta versus KDB, ask Mo his opinion on Barca.
It's Barcelona. We're a very good team. And they had get out of jail card. They had the best coach around, Pep Guardiola, embedding everything. And they had Lionel Messi. Barcelona, for me, are Messi FC. Simple as that.
Xavi in the 08 season, 10 goals, 30 assists. Yeah. And knocks out the Champions League semi.
More than 20.
Don't you dare compare that stat merchant to Iniesta. Was Messi a get out of jail free card when Xavi and Iniesta won with Spain?
Spain played the same brand of football internationally that they played there. And they had Cesc Fabregas, they had Fernando Torres, they had David Villa, they had a fantastic team. Stop that bullshit.
And Iniesta was
Fuller, I know what you support. Stop that bullshit. Spain won because of Barcelona. Like Germany won the World Cup because Pep Guardiola coached Germany. The same brand of football. Come on. Yep. We know what's happening.
This year says that KDB can't even lace Fabregas or David Silva's boots. KDB goes missing in all games. Missing all game and stat pads. The Belgians all rate Hazard more than KDB.
The word stat pad cannot by the way, the word stat pad cannot be for a midfielder because stat padding is you're tapping the ball in the back of the net, right? Yeah. KDB doesn't do that. KDB assists. You cannot stat pad as a midfielder unless you're just staying in the box and tapping in. That's called stat padding. Come on.
This here says KDB, Rooney, or Thierry Henry.
Oh, that's a hard one.
Thierry Henry for me first.
That's a hard one. Shall I play what you said about Rooney last week as well, Hamza?
What did you say about Rooney?
I said international
about Rooney. Hamza, be quiet. Hamza, be quiet. You've been exposed. He said Rooney is England's top goal scorer.
What's with the feds on this show right now? What's happening here?
And list this time.
Okay. Terry tell Hamza he wants him benched also. Did you want him benched, KDB?
Never in my life. I've been telling everyone he's the greatest midfielder.
Hamza. The primary job of a striker is to put the ball in the net. Every other thing is secondary. That's the difference between Haaland and Nunez. Very true.
Very
investigate Chris Woods for match fixing. Come on, Arteta. Bottle it versus the manager he replaced.
I don't know what that means.
I was in against Villa.
Oh, Emery, bro.
This guy's a copite, embarrassing. That's obviously at you. They crashed into each other. Neither got the ball.
That's
fair dues. These guys had too much caffeine today, is what Michael says.
I did.
Make sure you smash the like button, of course, people. This here says, what does it say about City and Arsenal that they are both on top with guys like Haaland, Martinelli, and Jesus all having down years? It shows that it's a team sport. And they have other top players in their team that step up, but it isn't exactly. This is the one thing I know you use that as your way of propping up Gerrard, but we won't rewrite history. You had multiple teams that Gerrard was part of that were in title races, and at the beginning of seasons, there was multiple pundits and journalists that predicted them that they would win the league and were always in the top 2, 3, 4 teams to win the Champions League. So he was part of very, very good teams. He didn't consistently. He didn't, but 2 teams, but that spread over a period of time. It wasn't 2 seasons in his career. He was part of some very, very, very good teams, Steven Gerrard. We're not going to lie about it. But only now, when they didn't achieve, can you look back and go, they weren't good enough. But at the time, they were looked at as a serious team. But yeah, Gerrard and his team were not good enough. You're right. The best midfielders of the generation all said that Scholes was the best. This is true. But yeah, Liverpool fans think it's made up. KDB better than Iniesta. First dumb thing I've heard Mo say in a while. Do you feel, Mo, very quick answer from Mo, do you feel as though Iniesta and Xavi are protected in the same way that Thierry Henry is the Premier League goated protected? Whenever it comes up as a conversation, it just gets shut down really quickly.
Yes.
Without any opinions. Yeah.
Yes.
The title would be over if we had Partey, Rice, and Odegaard the whole season. Come on, you Gunners. We are just.
The title would be over if Trent Allison and all these guys were fit as well. Who gives a shit, man? Injuries.
The title would have been over if aging didn't happen and Fergie, Giggs, Scholes, and co were still here. If aging didn't happen, with KDB is good at assisting but can't control games.
That's what you need. You need to assist goals. You need to score goals in football.
Where are we going to win the league? We smell blood, is what City Shark says here. Final day of the season, I think it's going down to, my man. So wherever you are on the final day. Look, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Please hit the like button before you leave and subscribe. This show is going to take you across to MHF. That's the new channel of Mo and Hassam. Go and check it out and give it a sub over there. They're going live momentarily. Hamza V, always a pleasure, gentlemen, to speak football with you. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again